I'm going in. Look like it's snowing in. This focus, I'm throwing money. They think that it's fucking funny, but I'm getting money. I'm getting money. Only live one way, that's Monday through Sunday. See me on the highway, they calling me the fly J. Then they see me passing by, now they call me the vibe J. See me when I drive, but they calling me the driveway. And I got a swing, man, this Texas is the driveway.
What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. NBA Talk with Jay here, man. Wednesday, January 10th. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna go through these games, finna get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, my guys. Injuries, man, shit's already going crazy over here right now. You see what I'm saying? And you also know, I want to say, man, you never know when somebody might get traded, man. You never know these days, right before the trade. Well, it's not right before the trade deadline, but looks like there's a certain team today that got a couple guys on the injury report, and there's a lot of trade implications going around. So, any little injuries, if you're about to get traded, they're probably not going to play. And also, don't be surprised if like some trades happen in the middle of the day. So, I just want to let you guys know with that. This is a funky part. This is a funky time of the NBA season, guys. So, you know me, always keep it real with you. You like the show, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff, man. Go download the Action Network app. It's free. There's a ton of tools over there that will help you, that make you a better here, guys. But don't have a ton of time, so let's get straight to it here. Real quick, briefly, go over here to the streets of Detroit here. Not talking a bunch about this game. Pistons getting 3 at the house by the Spurs laying 3 on the road. Spurs have 5 wins on the season. Pistons have 3. The Pistons just can't get right. I mean, they had a 20-point lead last night in the first half, really in the first quarter versus the Sacramento Kings, and came back. Well, the Kings came back and still ended up winning that game by 20. So they let you know the state of the Pistons there. I'd slightly lean to the Spurs because they have at least they've shown that they at least. I don't have any look on this game, man. Let me stop wasting your time. But slightly into the Spurs, but don't bet that game. In all honesty, like just stay off that game, guys. Let's go over to the streets of Indianapolis, though. We got the Pacers laying 7.5 points at the house versus the Washington Wizards. How bad are the Wizards? The Pacers are without their best player, and they're still laying 7.5 versus the trash ass Wizards. You see what I'm saying? They telling me in the chat to take the Spurs. You know what I'm saying? Fox 5 says he likes Spurs minus 2.5. And then he said, take the Spurs. Nicola says, take the Spurs, Jay, minus 2.5. So apparently they're liking the Spurs there. But in this game, Indiana Pacers laying 7.5. I actually would be looking towards the under in this game, guys. I'll tell you straight up, I don't love this card. I go through the games. I'll tell you what I'm liking on the card, but this is not a card that you're going to see me just like oh, okay, this is a banger spot. It's not one of those type of cards. And I can't, like I said, it's a funky time of year as well. But about to go through every game, and then I'm gonna get up out of here. Got another show I have to do, but I actually think the under 253 is a really good look in this game. We know that TJ McConnell coming in there for Tyrese Halliburton is a whole stylistic change. Now they're still going to run and gun, but first off, McConnell is a lot better defender than Tyrese Halliburton. He's a much worse shooter than Tyrese Halliburton as well. Like, they're going to leave McConnell open to shoot some threes. He might make a few of them, but he is just no Tyrese Halliburton out there. He's not as fast as him. He's not as dynamic. He can still pass the ball and make great passes, but it's a whole stylistic change. I know that last game versus the Celtics went over the totals like 260 points, but this one's a little different. And the last 8 games for the Wizards on the road, only one of their games have eclipsed this total of 253 points. So they're 1-7 to the over on this number in their last 8 games on the road. I actually think this game goes under. If I had one play today, that would be my best look. Obviously, it's always scary going with a Pacers game to go under, but I think that this total 253 is a little too high. Like, this is a total that should be if Tyrese Halliburton is in there. So with TJ McCollum at the helm, TJ McConnell at the helm, I think that this total is a little too high in my opinion. I'd go under 253 here. When you're talking about laying the points here, now this is a revenge spot. Last time the Pacers faced against the Wizards, they lost outright. That's when the Pacers were in a little funk after that in-season tournament. So they do have revenge. They're still a much better team, even without Halliburton. Never looking towards the Wizards, but this is one where I'd look towards the total under 253 for this Pacers-Wizards game. I actually think it's a really good look, guys. Let's go over to the streets of Charlotte here. here. Hornets getting 7.5 points at the house versus Sacramento Kings. I don't know what it is, guys, but the Kings, the Hornets have played really well versus the Kings. They've won back-to-back matchups. They won earlier. Excuse me. They won earlier this year as 15.5 point underdogs. They beat them 111-104 in Sacramento, guys. I don't know what's going on with the Kings. I don't know how you get down 20 to the Pistons like that. Now they came back and won and played some good defense, but this Kings team is just nowhere near the same team as last year, guys. For whatever reason, they've lost 8 out of the last 10 matchups to the Charlotte Hornets, and the Hornets are also 8-2 against the spread, the last 10 versus the Kings. So we know that the Kings got embarrassed as 15.5 point home favorites, and they're going to want to win this game. But you're talking about laying 7.5 on a back-to-back, versus a team that's already not that great. See what I'm saying? I can't back the Kings here. So I'm not saying that the Hornets are a lock in this one, but they do have the rest advantage. They are at the house. They have shown that they could already beat the Kings outright, but we do know that the Hornets don't want to win games as well. So just one of those games where it's really just kind of pick your poison. You see what I'm saying? Do you want to take the Kings with revenge and trust them to try to win this game by double digits? Or do you want to take the team that's shown over the last 11 games that they damn near own the Kings? So I do like revenge spots, but it's not something that I take every single time, to be honest with you guys. So nothing to do with that game here. Let's go over to the streets of Boston here. Celtics land 9 at the house versus the Minnesota Timberwolves in this one. A little bit of inside info for you. First, let's talk about the injuries. Mike Conley's out in this game, and then, which they could have Jordan McLaughlin that could step in, but you might not have Rudy Gobert here. I mean, that's one of their main advantages, in my opinion, going up against the Celtics. The Wolves they flew in the day of the game. They didn't fly in to the game. They didn't fly in over there until 10:30 this morning, guys. So this is one of those that for whatever reason they had to stay overnight for some weather. They had inclement weather down there, so they had to stay overnight in Orlando and flew up to Boston this morning, guys. So it's a little bit of inside info for you there. I don't know how inside it is, but that's the info. That's why you saw this line start to go from 7.5 to 9 this morning. Now it's started to head up to 9.5. Probably going to be 10s popping up here with Rudy Gobert possibly not going to play. I forgot what the exact. So he has left hip soreness. So Rudy Gobert might not be in there. You see what I'm saying? Let me see. So they're saying, let me see. I'm just seeing something about DeJounte Murray here, guys. So just seeing something about DeJounte Murray. You never know when some shit's gonna happen these days. But this is a tough game, mainly because, like, I'll tell you straight up, I don't know why this line is moving so high. I know that the Wolves are like flying in the day of the game. We don't know if Drew Holiday or Kristaps Porzingis are going to play in this game. Like, this is a line for the Celtics to where everybody's in there. This is the first game for back-to-back. Now, one thing, it's a really tough game, really tough card. One thing, the Celtics have been really good so far this season at avenging a loss. When they lose to a team, the next time they've played the team, whatever team it is, they're 4-0 straight up. You see what I'm saying? So that's how the Celtics have been so far this year. But this is the first game of back-to-back. They got the Milwaukee Bucks tomorrow. The Wolves, while they do sit at the top of the Western Conference, I'm sure that the Celtics will rather smash the Bucks tomorrow. That's why you probably still see Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis on this injury report. I'd say if you like the Celtics, personally, I would wait to see if they have everybody in there. They're probably going to rest. They might rest somebody just for the simple fact that obviously the Bucks game has a lot more implications with them being an Eastern Conference team, and they always want to smack up the Bucks. But I just thought it's funny that this line is moving, and we don't even. And honestly, I do think that it's a big deal if Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis don't play in this game. You'll still have Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Derek White. They still got some ballers, but we're talking about going up against a Wolves team that is a really deep team, and this team plays really good defense. Now, obviously, if Gobert's not in there, their defense won't be as good, but too many injury implications in this game, my guys, for to be trying to bet this game right now. So unless you just got a really strong look here, honestly, I'd wait to see who's going to play. You might not have Gobert, but Drew Holiday is huge in this one. He's obviously their main defensive guy and their point guard. And if you don't have Porzingis, who's going to be the big man? I mean, who's going to be a big man that you trust? They still got Cornette, got Sam Hauser, but I mean, come on here now. You know what I'm saying? What are we doing here? I think this might be a few too many points for the Celtics. They're undefeated at the house, but how long will that stand? Are they going to go 41-0 at the house? Probably not. So they're going to drop one of these games at the house. We don't know which one it is. It's too many injuries in this game for me. But I just wanted to let people know that. I'll give you the inside info on the Wolves, but also Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis mean a ton to their team, and they could possibly be looking ahead to that game tomorrow versus the Milwaukee Bucks, guys. So right now, I don't have a strong look on this game. Let's go over to the streets of Atlanta here, guys. Let's go to the streets of Atlanta here. Hawks, Atlanta point and a half at the house versus the Philadelphia 76ers. What the fuck are they doing? Now, the Hawks aren't laying points anymore. DeJounte Murray literally just popped. This is going to be a theme here for the next couple weeks. People are going to be hopping up on the injury report right before I do this show, right? Because it's 1 o'clock Eastern. But DeJounte Murray, who's on the trade block, he's going to get traded. He popped up on the injury report with a right hamstring soreness. Capella's already questionable as well. First off, I don't think that the Hawks should have been laying points. I'm sorry. This team is absolute ass. Trae Young is a cancer. I don't know if it's the coach. I don't know if they're systematically tanking on purpose, but the Hawks do not care about winning basketball games this year. I think they're just kind of experimenting. They're going to trade some guys. And I'll tell you right now, which DeJounte Murray, he hadn't really been playing his best anyway because he knows he's about to get traded. He hadn't been playing defense. But, I mean, if you tell me you might not have DeJounte Murray or Capella, I don't know what to do with this Hawks team. They finally got Jalen Johnson back. Trae Young is probable with a right shoulder soreness, but I could say all that to say it's Sixers or nothing for me in this game. I'm not looking towards the Hawks. I'm never looking towards them. Look at the games where the Hawks have major advantages. They were at the house versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder didn't get in that game. They didn't get in that night until 4:30. They didn't get to their hotel until 4:30 in the morning, guys. The Hawks had a 17-point first quarter lead, 20-point lead in the first half. Guess what happened? The Thunder came all the way back and had a chance to win that game in the last few seconds, guys. I'm never backing this Hawks team for the rest of the year. If anything, I'm looking towards spots to fade them. Now, I'd probably bet the Sixers this game and the Hawks fuck around and show up. You see what I'm saying? That's just how Jekyll and Hyde the Hawks are. So I'm not on this game, but I know when they were laying 2.5 last night, I'm like, the Hawks can't be laying points. I'm sorry. I woke up this morning, it's down to 1.5. Now you have the Sixers that are laying 1.5. I know there's no Joel Embiid, but Sixers are coming off back-to-back losses here. They're still the better team, even without Joel Embiid, guys. This Hawks team stinks. They're historically bad as far as covering the spread. I would stay so far away from this team, guys. That's just me trying to help you out. I would stay so far away from the Hawks, even after they make the trades. This is not a team that you're going to make a lot of money with this season, guys, to be perfectly honest with you. So my guy says if Milton plays, he's betting the Sixers. It's not worried like Philly on the money line. Hawks a horrible team to back. They could cover, but they're so inconsistent. And I guess that's what I'm saying. So if you're ready to go on a roller coaster, you can go bet the Hawks if you like, but just know it's going to be a long night for your ass, man. And if anything, maybe bet them first half or something, just full game. I actually think I'm starting to think that the Hawks are tanking and losing these games on purpose. Like they lost versus the Orlando Magic, should have never happened. The Magic first game back on for a 5-game road trip, they had a sickness. They had like 3 injured players. Hawks end up taking it to overtime, still lost it. It's like they didn't even try to score. They got outscored 10-3 in overtime. Get this Hawks team out of my face, guys. I'm never backing them, never looking their way. And I can't wait to see where DeJounte Murray gets traded to, but they might trade Capella as well. So I just want to let you know that maybe that's why they're hopped up on the injury report, because either they're about to get traded or they just want to keep these guys healthy, guys. Let's go over to the streets of Miami here, guys. Sorry, S. Warrior. Heat getting 4.5 at the house versus the Thunder. Heat are starting to have a ton of injuries. I know that there's people that's going to bet them every single game, but I do not think the Heat win this game. I'd actually be looking towards the Oklahoma City Thunder in this one. This line did open up at 3.5, 4. It's up to 4.5. I agree with where it's going. The Miami Heat have beaten the Thunder 6 straight times. They've beaten them 9 of the last time, but the Thunder have covered 3 straight, somewhat kind of teetering on a win versus the Miami Heat. The last 2 losses versus the Heat, they lost by 2 and they lost by 1. That kind of tells me that the Thunder are teetering on a win versus the Miami Heat. This is the 4th straight road game for the Oklahoma City Thunder, but they're only 1-2 so far on this road trip. So that tells me they want to go out there and at least go 2-2 on this road trip before they head home and face the Blazers tomorrow. I think the Thunder are on the right side in this game, mainly because you can't be starting RJ Hampton. And I know, and I'm sorry, and I know it's not Warriors going to bet the Heat here regardless, and he's just a major Heat fan. But you got to admit, RJ Hampton is not a starting player in this NBA these days. It's no hate on him. He still made it to the league. I mean, he's in there over me. So I'm saying he's better than me at basketball. But still, I know he is not a starting point guard in this league. He should not be starting for any NBA team. Maybe the Pistons. I would. He probably wouldn't even start for the Wizards over there. RJ Hampton is your starting point guard tonight for the Miami Heat. I don't respect it at all. They really only have one ball handler that's on the floor, and that's Tyler Hero. Maybe Josh Richardson coming off the bench. You don't have a single true point guard that's playing for the Miami Heat. I think that that's gonna. I really do think that that's going to come back and mess with them today in this particular game. As long as the Thunder come out there and get their heads out of their butts like they've been playing the last 3 games. Because remember, the last 3 games, Thunder been on a slide. They're 0-3 against the spread. Even the game versus the Wizards, they've just kind of been messing around. You see what I'm saying? But no, RJ Hampton, the starting point guard, no, hell no, guys, hell no. I'm sorry, but they don't really have a point guard on the floor. I think this is the type of game where they're going to miss Jimmy Butler, they're going to miss Kyle Lowry, they're going to miss Cody Martin in this type of game. The Thunder, in my opinion, can win this game by double digits if they want to. And it's with them losing 6 straight to the Heat, I think they want to go out there and try to embarrass their ass. So I think the Thunder get the job done here by double digits. I'd actually lay the wood with the Thunder here minus the 4.5. That should be a really good look in my opinion in this one, guys. So I'd bet Thunder minus the 4.5. That's what I would do if I was you guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Chicago in this one. Bulls laying 4 at the house versus the Houston Rockets. We know the Rockets aren't the same team on the road. Now they did play the Heat. That's even bigger. Why trust the Heat? Remember last game, I liked the Heat in the first half -2, and they pissed that away versus the Rockets. They ended up getting it done full game, but Rockets were right there with them. Rockets are 3-11 on the road, 7-7 against the spread. They've actually done well versus the Chicago Bulls. They're 6-4 straight up in their last 10 games versus the Chicago Bulls. 5-4-1 against the spread as well. Now the Bulls looks like they're going to be fully healthy here. Now, you know me, I don't want the Bulls with Zach LaVine in there, but looks like they're going to have Patrick Williams, Zach LaVine, Alex Caruso. They're going to have Vucevic in this game. All hands on deck for the Chicago Bulls in this game. They do have the Golden State Warriors on deck, but you can't look ahead. If you're the Bulls and you're trying to make the playoffs and you're under 500, you can't be looking ahead over your opponents here. This is a game where the Rockets will probably still miss Dylan Brooks in this game. They'd love to have him on DeMar DeRozan or Kobe White or Zach LaVine, and I think that this is the type of game that the Rockets are really going to miss. Really going to miss one of their top defenders here. Also, well, I can't say it's not a look ahead yet. They don't face Boston yet. But this is just a game where in the same point spread where the Rockets will have to win this game outright. And I'd lean the Bulls here minus the 4. I don't trust the Rockets on the road. Maybe in their next game versus the Pistons, but in this particular spot, I'm not betting the Rockets on the road, especially not in a point spread where they have to win the game. I mean, could they keep it within 3? It's very possible, but that's only one possession. I'd heavily lean towards the Bulls here, laying the 4. It's not strong enough for me to bet, but they are slightly a better team than the Rockets, especially at the house, and the Rockets being on the road as well, guys. Let's go over to the streets of Golden State here, guys. Warriors getting 2.5 points at the house versus the Pelicans. Would love to see Zion Williamson playing this game, him and Jose Alvarado. The Warriors are not a good team this year, guys. I'll tell you straight up. I watched this team versus the Raptors. They got absolutely smoked. I watched them, but I've actually been watching the Warriors here lately, guys. This is their 7th straight home game, so that's working for them. This is the last game before they head out on the road trip, but I watched them versus the Mavs. So look, they've played 6 straight home games. They're 2-4 straight up so far on that on this homestand. They lost versus the Mavs. They barely beat the Magic. Lost versus the Warriors. Now, that was a good game versus they lost versus the Nuggets. That was a good game that they played. Probably the best game at the house so far. They went up against the Pistons, guys. They could have lost straight up at the house versus the Pistons. Only won that game by 4. Didn't cover the spread. Now, versus the Raptors, I'm watching this game. And when I tell you the Warriors got their ass worked. Now, in theory, this is a bounce back spot for the Warriors here, but I can't do it versus the Pelicans team. First off, the Pelicans have been losing to the Warriors. They've lost 3 straight and 0-3 against the spread last 3. So they're going to come in here pissed, come in here with revenge. And they're not going to take the Warriors lightly. This is not the best version of the Warriors. They don't have Chris Paul. Steph Curry It's not looking like vintage Steph Curry. He's probably not sipping the juice anymore. You see what I'm saying? I believe he went 0 of 7 for 3 versus the Raptors. Clay has looked a little bit better, but I'm just not a believer in this team whatsoever. They're out there trusting guys like Podziemski. You got the crowd that's asking for Moses Moody out here, man. They're depending on guys like Jonathan Kuminga, a rookie Jackson Davis here, man. I don't know what to do. Like you can hold on to the thought process that the Warriors are great or that they're at the house or that they gotta bounce back. This team is not the same team from they are not the same team from years past, guys. So you can look at the Warriors and say, oh, they got Curry and all. I'm telling you this, guys, they're not the same team. I'd still look towards the Pelicans. It'd be really nice if they had Zion Williamson out there and Jose Alvarado. Like they had everybody. I'd take a strong look at the Pelicans here. This Warriors team is absolute ass, guys. I'm telling you that right now. Now, you never know when they're going to turn it on at the house. 7 straight home games is always a tough spot for me to bet against because they hadn't had to travel anywhere, especially off a bounce back game as well. You never know when shots are going to start to fall. They hadn't had to travel anywhere. We know that the Pelicans are on this West Coast road trip, but when it's a triple revenge game for the Pelicans here, Warriors about to head out on the road for a 4-game road trip, I could only look towards the Pelicans here. This team is a lot more sound defensively. They're a lot more intact. They play for their coach. Steve Kerr is starting to look like a lame duck over there. He's sitting on the bench not knowing what to do, and I always kind of thought that Steve Kerr wasn't that great of a coach. It was more of the players. Now the players aren't bailing him out. He's starting to get exposed. No, I want no part of the Warriors team right now, guys. But I can say it's really hard to bet against a team when they've had 7 straight home games. It's really hard, and they're coming off a horrible game as well. But I know within my soul that the Pelicans are much better team, much more put together, have much more depth, and they play the much better defense as well with guys like Herb Jones, Najee Marshall. You got Brandon Ingram that could probably do whatever the hell he wants. Watch out for CJ McCollum popping threes in this game. Pelicans are in much better current form. That's why you see them laying points on the road, even with us not knowing if Zion is in there. You see what I'm saying? So could only look towards the Pelicans in this particular game. And the Pelicans been coming out cashing cashing those first halves as well, my guys. So if you like the Pelicans in this game, I will not be the one that talks you off in this one, guys. Let's go over to the streets of Utah in this one. I'm not sure what's happening in this game. The line was starting to go up to like 7.5 in this one, but Jazz have actually been playing some good basketball here. But we know that it's all about will the Nuggets take this game serious. This is Jazz's first game back at the house, but you know what? Something I kind of figured out, guys, earlier in the season that it's a little different when you're coming back to the house and you're a younger guy. I think that coming back to the house fade is more when you're older and you got a family, you got kids, and you got, you know what I'm saying, shit to take care of. These young guys, most of them on the Jazz aren't even married. You know what I'm saying? So they're not even married yet. So you're coming home to an empty house. And it's just like, all right, let's just focus on basketball. That's something that I kind of figured out. Young teams coming back to the house off a road trip isn't that big of a fade than when you have veteran guys and they have a ton more shit to take care of with families and stuff. You're a single guy, it's a lot different. You're just coming home really focusing on basketball. You see what I'm saying? And it's only a 3-game road trip as well. Look at this, man. The Jazz 8-2 straight up and against the spread in their last 10 games. And for whatever reason, the Nuggets have struggled versus the Jazz the past few games as well, guys. The Nuggets have lost 5 straight matchups in Utah, guys. I don't know what it is. Sometimes teams just go in there and really lose their superpowers. But if Mike Malone is a good coach, like they say he is, he should use that as bulletin board material. Look, guys, we've been getting smacked in Utah. How about we come out here and try to win one of these games in Utah, man, after getting our ass kicked so many times. So this is a game that I'll watch, I'll learn. We know that the Nuggets are the better team, but for whatever reason, when they go to Utah, they lose their superpowers, guys. So let's see what happens this game. I'd like to say look towards the Jazz. They've been hot, but the Nuggets have been figuring shit out as well. They're 8-2 straight up in their last 10 games, but only 5-5 against the spread. You see what I'm saying? They say Utah game cooking recently. Jay, it's a national television game too. No, that's a fact right there, man. Denver ain't covered there since Mitchell. Books want Pelicans money. It looks easy. No, that's a fact there. I got you. It's a tricky card, man. I'm telling you that right now. Shit's a tricky ass card. I know people have to make money and they want to place money on NBA games. It's like we need to make money. There's not always cards with access in this one, guys. To be perfectly honest with you here, but I'll tell you towards the end of the show, my top three looks what I would be looking. You say you want to win today? Utah Jazz on the money line or +7 if you're scary. Jazz are at +6.5 now. Jazz plus the points in my pocket is looking good. I got Utah at the half on the money line. They say it's dog season. Definitely dog season. That's a fact, man. So with how the Nuggets have been struggling in Utah, it's hard for me to back them here, especially land 7, because this is not a number that's saying, oh, they've been struggling in Utah. This is a number saying, oh, the Nuggets are just a better team than the Jazz. So Jazz have actually been balling. I still wouldn't be taking Jazz on the money line, though. That's just me, to be honest. I think you're going a little far with that one, but it's definitely could be a spot where the Nuggets win, but not cover the spread. But everybody on the Jazz, I'll be honest with you. Once everybody starts to get on the Jazz, that's when I'll be starting to fade them here. So I don't go with the trendy picks, especially a trendy underdog. I know they've been balling, but if the Nuggets want to and they want to turn up here, they can still smack the Jazz by double digits. But we do need to see. I need to see them come to play in this game first versus Utah. No real look ahead versus no real look ahead in the spot for the Nuggets as well. It's a tough game for me, to be honest with you. I could see it going either way, but with everybody in the chat liking the Jazz plus the 7 and on the money line, gives me a little bit of hesitation there, because that kind of tells me that now they're on to something. Now the Jazz aren't surprising anybody. Now they're expected to do well. You see what I'm saying? So let's go to the last game here. Let's go over to the streets of Clippers to LA in this one, man. Clippers land 10 at the house versus the Raptors here. I didn't even know that the Raptors coach went crazy like that and said that, you know, if the refs just gonna give the Lakers the game, then we should just stay home. But I do have a look on this game. Raptors team total under 113.5. This is a back-to-back, third game in 4 nights, fourth game in 6 nights, all on the road here for the Raptors on this West Coast road trip. And if you look at it, they've been traveling all over the place. They've only had 2 home games. They've only had 2 home games in their last 11 games, guys, for whatever reason. So I know that they got a new sense of energy with RJ Barrett and Quickly in there. Shooter's going to start to get pissed off because he's not getting any minutes anymore. He went from starting point guard to playing like 20 minutes a night. So they might have to trade Shooter, but this is a game where I could just really see the Raptors run out of gas in this one. They've been hitting a ton of shots, but the Clippers over their last 5 games have held teams to an average of 107 points, guys. So the Clippers have been locking down defensively. This is one of the better defensive teams in the league. They don't really have any look ahead or anything like that. Like I say, Clippers been locking down defensively. Raptors have been playing well. They've been playing faster. They've put up 130 points in 3 straight games. But this is a spot where I think fatigue will finally set in. Them playing these late night sleepy spot games will finally set in here on the Raptors. And I don't think they'll get to 110 points in this one, guys. So this would be my top look of the day. The Raptors under their team total, under 113.5. I know they've been scoring lately, but I think the Clippers come out here and lock these boys up, guys like Terrence Mann, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. You got Zubats down low. You see what I'm saying? They even guys like Norman Powell coming off the bench. This team has been really playing some defense in this one, guys. So this would my top 3 looks would be on today's card, to be honest with you. First one would be Pacers Wizards under 253. After that, it would be Thunder land the 4.5. After that, it would be Raptors team total under 113.5. Those would be my top 3 looks. I don't love this card. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't really think there's like just one play where it's like, all right, let me go put 500 or 1,000 and finna smack these books up, to be perfectly honest with you. You see what I'm saying? So, but those will be my top 3 looks right there. Burns says he likes Raptors will cover. Siakam cover for you, Raptors tonight. What are you guys liking in the chat before we get up out of here, man? The refs will help them cover tonight. That's a nice little angle right there. But don't remember, they might run out of gas in this one, man. Raptors were robbed last night. It's the Lakers, man. You got to know. If you know, you know. My guy said had Lakers -3.5 live for +180, and that's Siakam 3 hurt. Let me see here. Refs will help the Kawhi contract extension. My guy said I need a cut, man. I hadn't had a cut in about 4 weeks, man. I definitely got to go get a haircut, but that doesn't mean that I'm on the Clippers tonight. Jay, I got Boston at -6, still too many points. I don't know, bro. I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know about today's card, to be perfectly honest with you. Nathaniel says, give him the Sixers. Yeah, I'd heavily lean Sixers as well. This Hawks team is fucking frauds, man. This Hawks team is they're fucking frauds. I'll tell you that right now, guys. So those would be my top 4 leans in the day. Nothing official for me today. I'll be honest with you. I hate this card. But it would be Raptors team total under 113.5 for me. I'd heavily lean towards Pacers Wizards under 253. Oklahoma City Thunder laying 4.5. And then I'd heavily lean towards the 76ers as well, laying the point and a half as well, my guys. So I'll give you my top looks, but it's nothing. I'm not betting today on today's card, man. Those will be my top 4 looks. No real banger type of spot for me. I need something that's like I absolutely love it for me to bet it. You see what I'm saying? But that's the show for me, man. Go download the Action Network app. It's all free. It's a ton of tools over there to help you make a better, to help you help make you a better. It's all love, man. 775 people watching live. If you like the show, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, man. All that good stuff. We'll be back tomorrow. I'm pretty sure that I'll have a play for tomorrow, guys. I always come on here and let you know the info, let you know how I'm thinking on games. There's just not always some where it's like I'm finna go smack. Because when I bet, like I'm really betting on some shit. See what I'm saying? It's not like or I kind of lean. That's not the way I do things, guys. So you can tell when I'm really betting on some shit, man. But it's all love. I got to get up out of here, man. Got to do another show. If you guys like the show, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's get this cash, my guys. Whatever you're betting today, I hope you cash, my guys. Good luck. Sending you positive vibes. It's all love. Let's go.